Good day. I'm going to discuss about transportation engineering. So when we say transportation engineering, it is the branch of civil engineering that is involved in planning, design, operation, and maintenance of safe and efficient transportation systems. So these systems include railways, roadways, waterways, and intermodal operations. So what is the importance of transportation engineering? Number one is the mass production and stability of prices. So the credit for the development of large-scale industries go to a certain extent on the better transport facilities in the world. So buying raw materials cheaply in huge amounts from far places has been possible because of effective infrastructure and transportation facilities. It has encouraged mass production that has resulted in creation of new and expansion of old markets. Transportation has now brought about uniformity in price ranges by equalizing and stabilizing it throughout the nation. This move has been a blessing in disguise because it has encouraged healthy competition and discouraged the policy of monopoly of goods. Number two is the economic development. Trade is no longer restricted within certain boundaries but has spread far and wide within every nook and corner of the world. It is the advancement of transportation that has acted as a binding force to link the world market. The importance of transportation is that it become a major force in boosting the immobility of capital and labor. Now, it is possible for laborers to migrate to places where the job, facilities, and opportunities to earn are greater than local places. Economic development has been possible because efficient transportation infrastructure has been able to minimize the exploitation of labor class and maximize the optimization of national resources. It is now possible for region to concentrate on production of goods that is best suited for and distributed it to places where the demand is more. Also, the importance of transportation is that it become a crucial element of economic growth as it can transport resources easily, enabling societies to prosper and grow at good rate. There is now better accessibility to invest for new as well as existing business entities. It is easy to see the emergence of market, school, colleges, and other facilities that has been a sign of increase of economic growth in a place. So number three is numerous opportunities. As I've said a while ago that it expands the transportation, expands the sources, enable the people to migrate for job facilities and opportunities to earn greater in local places. So, an effective transport system offers social, economic, political, and cultural advantages like accessibility to markets, infusion of investors, distribution of resources, and etc. that result in indirect impact on the growth and development of the country. So, there is an increase in employment opportunities and it helps to boost the national income of country. It also acts as viable opportunity for the consumer who can enjoy the usage of numerous goods and services that were earlier not available at their local place. It is because the importance of transportation that goods and services have been able to breach local boundaries and find new markets for other items. This is ultimately reduce the cost price of consumer, increase his purchasing power, and given him a opportunity to save money in the process. Next is the social development. This is because of transportation that human beings have been able to travel to faraway places where the idea of a visit was inconceivable. New lands have been discovered which are now utilized to gain optimal benefits. The value of a land has increased because mankind is determined to use even wastelands for their advantage. Quality links of transportation have ensured connectivity that has resulted in social inclusion and better lifestyle. There has been a diffusion of population because it is not necessary to live in places where the resources are maximum in number. Instead, due to easy distribution of facilities, people can live anywhere and purchase desired resources accordingly. So one of the vital importance of transportation is that it has been possible to increase in the rate of production as equipment, materials, and labor can now be transported from one place to another. And on number 5, we have industrial and agricultural development. In this area, it has been possible to use good fertilizers, qualitative seeds, and numerous modern equipment and technologies because they could be transported from one place to another at reasonable cost. Similarly, it is transportation that helped the industries in acquiring the necessary raw materials as well as equipment and labor that is a must in industrial development. Remember, encouraging trade and industry commerce and agriculture is one of the simplest and most economical ways of boosting the national wealth of the country. Also, this is a help during national calamities. The transportation is very important during these times. Floods, drought, earthquakes, and famine are natural disasters that are unpredictable by nature. It is next to impossible to make predictions about their arrival, length, or severity. One can just wait for the time it loses its fury and dies a natural death. So the worst thing about such disaster is that they can leave behind immense destruction that is immeasurable. Lost lives, resources, and infrastructures are common after effects that people have to deal with. In such dire circumstances, it is transportation that acts as a blessing in disguise and manages to distribute survival kits and emergency food items immediately afterward. So the example of these transportations are helicopters. Helicopters drop important items like food packages and medical facilities these are the common scenario during natural disasters. Moreover, it is transportation that helps helpers and disaster management guides to travel to these places and lend out a helping hand for further rehabilitation process. And lastly, we have growth in business. So, transportation is considered a major force that has contributed heavily to the growth of business organization. It is a medium that physically connects a business entity to its customer as well as suppliers. The importance of transportation in business is undoubtedly immense, from bringing raw materials from source stations to manufacturing facilities and later distributing the finished goods from the locations to the consumers market via warehouses. It is essential service that would not have been possible without the transportation. So it is the transportation that ensures the availability of goods and services to the consumer.
Hi classmates, my name is Lian Doctor and my topic is about different modes of transportation. First is the road transportation. It is the most common mode of transportation and has been around longer. It is also the most versatile among the modes. There are two types of road transportation, which is less than truck or LTL and truckload TL. Ang downside po ng road transportation ay yung mga external influence na makakaapekto sa effectiveness ng road transportation. Halimbawa po nito ay yung weather, traffic, at regulations. Next po na mode of transportation is maritime transportation. Ito naman po ay may highest capacity to load at a low cost and the slowest mode of transportation. Dahil po sa slow ito, isa na po to sa downside ng maritime transportation. At isa pa pong disadvantage ng maritime transportation ay ang carbon emission. Isang cargo is equal to 50 million cars of emission. Next is air transportation. Air transportation is the newest mode of transportation. It is also the fastest growing and most time efficient transportation. Ang downside po ng air transportation ay masyado itong mahal at minimal yung kanyang load. And gaya ng maritime transportation, ang air transportation ay high emission din. Next is rail transportation. First invented in 19th century, mostly used for largest and heaviest payloads, costly and time-consuming to construct, primarily accessible in large metropolitan areas. And it is the most dependable mode. Ang pinaka-downside ng rail transportation is kapag may sira yung rail, matagal siya bago maayos and mahal siya. Intermodal transportation. Ang intermodal transportation naman ay combination ng iba-ibang modes of transportation pero isa lang yung route. Ang disadvantage ng intermodal transportation ay shortage sa ibang modes. Halimbawa po yung mga truck. Yung iba ayaw mag-deliver kasi medyo mababa yung bigayan sa kanila. And last is the pipeline transportation. It can be built above the ground or underwater. Ang downside po ng pipeline transportation ay masyado itong mabagal at nakaka-cause ng harm sa mundo. Ang main na tinatransport nito ay mga fuels, gasolines sa pamamagitan ng mga pipeline.
Characteristic of road transport. Pero bago yan, ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng road transport? Ang road transport means transportation of goods and personnel from one place to the others on roads. So, maraming mga advantages ang road transport kaysa sa other means of transport. Those are, ang investment na kailangan sa road transport ay tiyak na mas sobrang kaunti kaysa sa ibang mga uri ng transport na nangangailangan ng malaking halaga ng investment o budget upang may paggawa. Ang mga kakailanganing gasto sa pag-construct, pag-operate, at pag-maintain ng road transport ay mas mura kung ikukumpara sa mga railways. Ano nga ba ang karakteristik ng road transport? Ang road transport ay maaaring daanan ng iba't ibang uri ng mga sasakyan o bihikulo kung ikukumpara sa ibang uri ng mga transport tulad ng railway, trucks, na ang railway, locomotives and wagons lamang ang mga maaaring dumaan, ang waterways na mga barko, bangka at yate lamang ang mga dumadaan. Sa road transport ay maaaring dumaan ang iba't ibang uri ng sasakyan tulad ng kotse, mga bus, trucks, jeep, tricycle, bisikleta at marami pang iba. Ang road transport requires a relatively small investment from the government. Motor vehicles are much cheaper than carriers like rail, locomotives, and wagons. Water and air carriers. Construction and maintenance of roads is also cheaper than of railway tracks, docks, harbors, and airports. Sa road transport ay mayroong kalayaan ang mga bihikulo na lumipat ng lane, lumiko, tumigil at kumontrol ng kanilang bilis na naaayon sa kanilang pangangailangan at destinasyon kung ikukumpara sa iba't ibang uri ng transport na karamihan ay hindi nagagawa ang ganoong uri ng kalayaan sa daan. Sa road transport din ay mas nakakatipid sa oras at pera kung ang destinasyon o pupuntahan ay nasa malapit lamang. Kumpara sa mga train stops na malalayo ang distansya ng hihintuan. Speed of movement is directly related with severity of accident. The road safety decreases with increased dispersion in speed. Road transport is subjected to high degree of accident due to flexibility of movements offered to the user. Derailment of railways, locomotive, and airplane and air crashes are not uncommon. They are in fact more disastrous. Road transport is the only means of transport offer itself to the whole community.
Everyone, I am Syra Discaya, and I will be discussing to you the scope of traffic engineering. So let us first define what traffic engineering is. So according to the Institute of Traffic Engineers, USA, traffic engineering is the phase of engineering that deals with planning and geometric design of streets, highways, abutting lands, and with traffic operations thereon, as their use is related to the safe, convenient, and economic transportation of persons and goods. Professor Res Blandu of California University proposed a modified definition, that is, traffic engineering being the science of measuring traffic and travel, the study of the basic laws relating to the traffic flow and generation, and application of this knowledge to the professional practice of planning, designing, and operating traffic systems to achieve safe and efficient movement of persons and goods. So generally, traffic engineering is the branch of engineering that deals with the improvement of traffic performance on road network and terminals through systematic traffic studies, scientific analysis, and engineering applications. It is the branch of civil engineering that deals with the application of scientific principles, tools, techniques, and findings for safe, rapid, convenient economic movement of people and goods. So traffic engineering has 9 objectives. First is to achieve smooth and easy flow of traffic at intersections, develop the methods for improvements in general and solving specific problems in particular, having safe, convenient, comfort, rapid, and economic transport of goods and persons, improve the speeds of vehicles, increase the traffic capacity of roads, make the streets safe for movements of both pedestrians and vehicles, reduce road accidents to minimum, and reduce the delays in road journeys, and remove the traffic congestions, and etc. So let us now come to the scope of traffic engineering. The factual studies of traffic operations will provide the foundation of developing methods and for solving specific problems. The study of traffic engineering includes the traffic characteristics, traffic studies and analysis, traffic operation control and regulation, planning and analysis, geometric design, and administration and management. So, traffic characteristics is basically the characteristics of the elements of traffic system. The traffic characteristics study is very vital for designing the required geometric features in the roadway. So there are 2 types of traffic characteristics. the road user characteristics, which includes the drivers, pedestrians, bicyclists, and passengers. So basically, ito yung it pertains to the person or the people that uses the road. So there are 5 aspects of road user characteristics. First is the physical, which is measurable and quantifiable. There are 2 types of physical characteristics, the permanent and the temporary. Permanent includes the vision, hearing, and reaction time of the road user. And the temporary is the presence of fatigue, influence of alcohol, illness, and drugs. Next is the mental characteristic. This includes the knowledge, skill, experience, intelligence, and literacy of the road user. Next is the psychological, which includes the attentiveness, fear, anger, and superposition of the road user. Superposition is the desired speed and safety distance of the road user. And the last is the environmental characteristic, which includes the traffic stream, facilities, atmosphere, and locality. The second type of traffic characteristic is the vehicular characteristic. So basically, vehicular characteristics pertains to the characteristics of the vehicle. These are the important characteristics of vehicles that affects the design and traffic performance. So there are 2 aspects, or there are 2 types of vehicular characteristics. First is the static characteristics, which includes the dimensions of the vehicles, its length, speed, height, wheelbase, departure and ramp angles, front, rear, and center clearances. This also includes its weight and maximum turning radius. Next is the dynamic characteristics, which is basically about the performance of the vehicle. This includes its speed, acceleration, power and braking system, and lighting system. The second scope is the traffic studies and analysis. So these are also called the traffic censuses or surveys. This involves the analysis of traffic characteristics for road designs for safe and efficient movement for traffic and traffic control. So the studies includes traffic volume study, speed studies, origin and destination study, traffic flow characteristics, traffic capacity study, parking studies, and accident study. So traffic volume study is the number of vehicles crossing a section of road per unit time at any selected area. These are used for road improvement and expansion, traffic operation and control, structural design of pavements, in geometric design, planning and designing new facilities, and etc. Traffic volume counting can be done through 2 methods. The mechanical counting, which makes use of mechanical counters, and manual counting, which is through manual counts. The second is the speed studies. This can be studied under the following heads: travel time, which is the simple measure of how well road network is operating; spot speed, which is the instantaneous speed of a vehicle at a specified section or location; average speed, which is the average of the spot speeds of all the passing vehicles at a given point on the highway; the running speed, which is the average speed maintained by a vehicle over a particular stretch of road while the vehicle is in first motion; and the overall and travel speed, which is the effective speed with which a vehicle traverses a particular route or route between 2 terminals. Next is the origin and destination studies. So these studies are used to plan the road network and other vehicular facilities for the traffic, and plan the schedule of different modes of transportation for the trip demands of commuters. Next is the traffic flow characteristics, which includes both the transverse and longitudinal distribution of vehicles in the traffic stream and is useful in geometric design features such as traffic capacity, volume, number of lanes, and width of carriageways. Another is the traffic capacity studies, which is the study of the ability of the road to accommodate traffic volume expressed as the maximum number of vehicles in a lane or road that can pass at a unit time. Next is the parking studies, which is useful in evaluating the facilities available for parking. And the last is the accident studies, which is used to study the causes of accident and suggest corrective treatment at potential location, evaluating the existing and support the proposed design. So studies are carried out before and after for improvement, making computations and giving economic justifications for the improvements suggested by traffic engineers. The next scope, or the third scope, is the traffic operation, control, and regulation. So this is being done through the use of traffic controlling devices. So these are arrangements or the provision made to the road users so as to avoid accidents on the roads and for the free and effective traffic flow. So basically, ito yung signages, markings. And yung mga and lights. Traffic lights na makikita natin on the road. So there are 4 types of traffic controlling devices. First is the road signs, which is used to warn, direct, and guide the road users in the form of symbols of inscription mounted on portable supports and placed on the side of the roads. So ito yung mga nakikita nating naka-attach doon sa bakal na pole sa gilid ng kalsada. So there are 3 types of road signs. First is the regulatory or mandatory signs. This is used to inform road users certain rules and regulations for safe and free flow of traffic. So this includes the parking and no parking sign. Examples of this is the first picture on the left side of the screen. The parking and no parking sign, the stop sign, the left turn prohibited sign. Those are examples of regulatory or mandatory signs. Next is the warning or cautioning signs. So these are used to warn road users of certain hazardous conditions either on or adjacent to the roadways for the motorists to become cautious and take the desired action. Examples of these is the second picture on the left side of the screen. The men at work sign, warning road maintenance. Pwede din dito ma-include yung intersection na sign. And minsan yung signage na heavy traffic ahead, yung ganun. Pwede din yun ma-include dito sa warning or cautioning sign. And the last type of road sign is the informatory sign, which is used to guide road users along route or route to inform them about destination and distance and provide other information to make the road travel easier and safe. So examples of this are the third and fourth picture on the left side. So included dito yung mga signages na nagsasabi kung anong lugar na. Included din dito yung nagsasabi na sa mga intersection na kapag papunta kang left, for example, pag papunta kang left, papunta kang Matnog. If you turn right, papunta kang Legazpi. If straight lang yung road na tatahakin mo, papunta kang Yambakon. Those are examples. This also includes yung may nakalagay na kung ilang kilometers ka pa bago ako makarating sa ganitong lugar. Included doon. included dito yung mga ganun sa informatory sign. So, next type of traffic control devices is the markings. So these are lines, patterns, words, symbols, or reflectors applied to the carriageway, curbs, sides of islands, or to fixed objects near the roadway. So basically, ito yung mga yellow, orange, white, and minsan black lines na patterns, and also words na nakikita natin na nandun mismo sa road. Included din pala dito yung color green na lights na nandun mismo sa road. Yun yung tinatawag na reflectors. So those are the examples of markings. So this is used to warn, inform, and guide road users and are made by using prints in contrast with colors and brightness on pavements or other backgrounds. Ordinary paints, like all paints, are used for road markings. The third type of traffic control device is the signals. These are control devices that could alternately direct the traffic to stop and proceed at intersections using red and green traffic light signals automatically. So basically, ito yung mga traffic lights na nakikita natin. There are two types of signals. One is the traffic control signals. Basically, ito yung traffic light mismo intended for the drivers. These have three colored light glows facing each direction of traffic flow. Red is for stop, green is for go, yellow or amber is for clearance time or preparation time. The other type of signal is the pedestrian signals, which is meant to give the right way to pedestrian to cross a road during the walk period when the vehicular traffic shall be stopped by red or stop sign on the traffic signals on the road. So ito yung signal for the pedestrian. And the fourth type of traffic control devices is the traffic islands. So these are raised areas constructed within the roadway to establish physical channels through which the vehicular traffic may be guided. So there are four types of traffic islands. The divisional island. Example of this divisional island is yung doon sa may capital na part. Dun sa may capital na part. Divisional islands from the word itself, to divide the roadway. Next is the channelizing island. Channelizing island, ito yun na part na to. Ito na part na to. Another example of channelizing island dito sa Philippines is yung mga makikita natin sa intersection na usually is triangular shaped siya. An example of this is yung doon sa may pangpang na part, yung triangular doon na island. Another is yung doon sa may kabidaan na part, yung may papuntang City Hall, papuntang Bulan, and papuntang Sorsogon proper. Yun. And then another example is yung doon sa may dito sa may Bacon, yung papuntang Bacon proper, and then papuntang Rawis, and then papuntang Balete. Yun. The next type is the pedestrian loading island. An example of this is yung doon sa may tapat ng land bank, yung may pedestrian lane, yung island doon. Yun yung example of pedestrian loading island. Another is the rotary island. An example of this is yung dating tinatawag nating rotonda dyan sa may Sorsogon National High School, yung pabilog na ngayon ay wala na, inalis na. So yun, those are examples of islands. Let us now come to the other scopes of traffic engineering. So the fourth scope of traffic engineering is traffic planning and analysis. So dito na papasok yung planning. planning na to. This is done to prevent or lessen accidents and congestions. The next is the geometric design, and dito na papasok yung designs. So this refers to the dimensions and arrangements of the visible features of a roadway. This includes pavement widths, horizontal and vertical alignment, slopes, channelization, intersections, and other features that can significantly affect the operations, safety, and capacity of the road network. And the last scope is the administration and management. So traffic management is the organization, arrangement, and guidance and control of both stationary and moving traffic, including pedestrians, bicyclists, and all types of vehicles. So its aim is to provide for safe, orderly, and efficient movement of persons and goods, and to protect and, where possible, enhance the quality of local environment on and adjacent to traffic facilities. So those are the scope of traffic engineering. I hope you were able to learn something, and thank you for listening, and have a great day ahead.
Good day everyone. So now let's move to the topic of scopes of highway engineering. So what is highway engineering? It is a branch of civil engineering that is concerned with the designing, constructing, and maintenance of various kinds of roads. It is a specialized field within the discipline of transportation engineering. So highways are a major feature of any industrialized country, and modern economies depend on them. It considers all aspects related to the design of the roads themselves, as well as how pedestrians are managed. So besides designing, constructing, and maintaining roads of different types, highway engineering is also concerned with the study of the planning, the location, and the development of roads. A highway engineer needs to identify areas that require connectivity. He needs to come up with a plan to connect the remote areas in an efficient way. Developed roads need to be evaluated on a regular basis by such highway engineers. So for example, as you notice the Rumpiolas Road, which is napaka-effective naman kasi nakakatulong siya sa traffic control, because as you can see, yung mga jeepneys na papuntang east ng Sorsogon, so dito na sila dumadaan, so mas nakakaiwas sila sa traffic kumpara sa main road ng Sorsogon. So one of the scopes of highway engineering is the geometric design of a highway. It is the determination of layout and features visible on highway. So it is the emphasis more on satisfying the need of the driver, as well as to ensure the safety of the vehicle. It is the comfort while driving and efficiency. So other related factors are also considered based on the project. So the main features considered for geometric design of highway are the cross-section elements, the gradient, the intersection, and the consideration of sight distance. So as you can see in that picture. Second is the material availability. So a highway engineer needs to ascertain the requirement of materials. Adequate materials is a must for the smooth and orderly conduct of construction activities. He also needs to avoid overstocking, as that simply increase the carrying cost. So a highway engineer needs to ascertain the requirement of materials. So kailangan niya ng to ensure the material availability para hindi or para maiwasan yung pagkagap ng pag-construct ng roads. So third is the traffic performance and control. So the objective of the plan should be to reduce traffic and congestion. Alternate routes need to be kept in mind while devising a plan. As you can see, the traffic control, which is meron tayong ginagawang or meron tayong traffic lights, meron tayong mga alternate routes para mas maiwas tayo sa traffic. So the fourth is the drainage system. While planning, special attention should be given to drainage. Easy drainage ensures smooth working on or in monsoon seasons. So very effective naman ng drainage systems para sa mga highways kapag tag-ulan na. So the road alignment. The position of the center line on the highway in the ground is called the highway alignment. As you can see in the picture, the projection of a highway alignment in the horizontal plane is termed as the horizontal alignment, and the projection of highway alignment in the vertical plane is called the vertical alignment. So alignment must be selected in such a way that the overall cost during construction, operation, and maintenance is minimum. So the fifth is the highway pavement. Highway pavement. It is a structure consisting of superimposed layers of processed materials above the natural soil subgrade, whose primary function is to distribute the applied vehicle loads to the subgrade. So as you can see in the picture, at the bottom there is the subsoil. At the top of it is the aggregate base, the asphalt base layer, the asphalt intermediate layer, the asphalt wearing surface. So this highway pavement is now effective in our years. And lastly, the construction and maintenance of highways. It is assumed by either the state or local communities, specifically designated agencies. So the actual plan of work is in constructing, maintaining, or repairing highways is in the discretion of the highway authorities, whereas the state legislature determines their roads. The authorities, they make provisions for the drainage of surface waters and for the building of ditches and culverts. So mas nagiging effective yung roads para magamit because of the construction and maintenance. So dito sa planong to, mas napapagaan yung pag-construct ng mga roads and highways. And to be specific, the construction of the drainage systems, the ditches, and the culverts. So that's it. Thank you.